A 2018 Pew Research survey shows that approximately 66% of Americans use social media to get their news. You may use social media as a method of communication to access information and news articles. As a social media user myself, I have seen the clickbait links to articles that spark controversies and create arguments. For the safety of decision-making in our society, we must stay informed by preventing the spread of disinformation on social media. Today, I will first talk about the causes of disinformation on our society. Then I'll explain the effects of disinformation in our lives. And finally, I will provide possible solutions to how we can prevent the spread of disinformation. To begin, I want to talk about the causes of disinformation on a broad and personal perspective. Disinformation is defined as using false information to deceive or manipulate others. This method of deceiving can influence a society or the government. For centuries, authoritative governments have tried to influence and manipulate the political opinion. The rise of social media has increased the speed at which disinformation spreads. According to an article from Infobase on January 7, 2022, abroad authoritarian governments use online trolls, bots, and disinformation to create the illusion of widespread support for their rule and popular hostility toward political opponents. People are also the reason of why disinformation spreads, and algorithms make it easier for disinformation to spread. According to an article from Plus One on October 7, 2020, individuals who encounter false information on social media may actively spread it further by sharing or otherwise engaging with it. In an article from PsycPost on March 25, 2020, an experiment's results indicated that repeatedly encountering an article on social media makes it seem less unethical to share it. This means that when you see a post on social media that is trending, you might think that the information on that post is true when it is actually not. Next, I want to talk about the effects of disinformation on our society and in our personal lives. Disinformation can sway governmental and demographic conflicts, leading to life-threatening decisions. In an article from Scientific American on October 15, 2020, the problem with partisan bias is that there are a lot of influencers with a lot of power to spread misconceptions and false beliefs that go beyond social media and become amplified to the community. This false information can become targeted towards certain groups and become a challenge. This means that there will be more extremism and hate speech towards certain groups in our society. People can change their behaviors and enhance their political and personal opinions. Social media consumers tend to prefer to communicate with like-minded people. This means that they want to look to find information that matches their beliefs, and this is because of confirmation bias. Though we cannot prevent disinformation completely, we can take measures to prevent the spread of disinformation on social media. According to an article from Forbes on January 19, 2021, organizations can prevent the spread of disinformation through active engagement or technology methods that limit access to social media or the sharing of social media on their networks. In an article published by the University of Southern California News on December 1, 2020, professors suggested that all media companies, not just social platforms, could better implement quality control for the content that's being shared among users. You can reduce your exposure to manipulative information on social media. You can research the credibility and the authority of the sources. You can look at different perspectives of the topic by looking at different articles and seeing if there's bias within that source. As an overview of what we've discussed today, I first talked about the causes of disinformation with how the government can influence political opinions and how people are the reason of why disinformation spreads. Then I talked about the effects of disinformation with how it is a threat to our democracy and it increases political polarization with certain groups. And finally, I explained the possible solutions on how we can prevent the spread of disinformation on social media. Disinformation is a serious issue that goes beyond social media and can impact our society and our personal lives. The next time that you see a controversial post spreading disinformation, you can take action to prevent the spread of disinformation by paying attention and researching.